All right, and we are live with another WWE Raw and Tough Enough review on this Tuesday evening. I'm live here with my two co-hosts. First, the bizarre one, Dave. How are you doing tonight, Dave?
I'm doing great.
And our other co-host, Justin, coming along again. How are you doing tonight, Justin?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Let's just jump right into it. Last video went a little bit too long for our taste, so we'll try to cut it down to like 30 minutes or so. We'll discuss Raw and what all happened on Raw, all the good stuff that is, and then we'll touch a little bit on tonight's Tough Enough, where we saw our latest elimination. So let's first start off with Raw last night. Where we did see Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman open up the show. Um, doesn't matter who starts first. I guess we'll go with Dave. What did you think of the opening intro or opening monologue for Raw last night with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar?
It was kind of cool. They kind of pandered to the crowd a little bit. It was like, okay, to be in Chicago, we even had a Chicago shirt. I said Chicago on his shirt and stuff, and I was like, okay. But it is what it is. Of course, Heyman's a great talker, so of course, everything he says is good. But I mean, besides that, the first 2 hours were pretty bad.
Yeah, Raw. Well, we'll get to Justin first. Well, I'll get on my opinions later. Justin, what was your thoughts since you did write notes and so you can remember everything?
Yeah.
What did you think of the first hour? I guess we could say the first 2 hours of Raw last night.
First 2 hours of Raw, yeah, they were so-so. But I did like the opening with Heyman and Brock. You had Heyman basically give out his warning to Seth Rollins. He said, he talked about how Brock Lesnar tore through Undertaker, and then he tore through John Cena, saying, Rollins was next. And he basically said, he is the enforcer, basically, to Rollins. That he said the suplexes is going to start tonight and go all the way to Battleground. And he's just yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
No, yeah, he was just saying, he's going to take him to Suplex City and just destroy him, basically.
I did enjoy it. I thought I'm just kind of confused on the whole is Brock Lesnar and Heyman. Are they friends with the authority, or are they against the authority, or what? Because the authority, Triple H and Steph, I guess you could say, pretty much made this match at Battleground for Brock Lesnar, and it seems like they've kind of shied away from that. They haven't really mentioned that very much. I think last night was the first time Triple H has been on Raw in actually a couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
It's been a while.
I'm sure maybe he was more concerned and worried about the special this past Sunday, or Saturday, I'm sorry. But what was it, Saturday or Sunday? Saturday, I'm sorry. And, so I'm sure he was a little bit more busy with that and everything. But I'm confused. Like, is Brock a face? Is he a heel? Is he
kind of like an in-betweener right now?
I did enjoy the opening. I mean, it's hard to ever not like a Paul Heyman promo because he's one of the best ever. Did it go a little bit too long for my taste? Maybe. Did we really need 15 to 20 minutes of Paul Heyman telling us how bad Brock Lesnar is going to beat Rollins? Not necessarily, but it was.
I don't think it went that long. I think it was like 12 minutes maybe, and then we had the Big Show epic match.
Well, yeah. I mean, to me, I think it would have been nice. I mean, we did get the altercation at the end of the night, but I thought it would have been kind of nice to see Rollins maybe interrupt Brock Lesnar, kind of ruffle his feathers a little bit more than he already has.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, I thought the opening segment of Raw was good. The next, hour and a half to 2 hours, Raw wasn't very good. They didn't have a lot of the guys that wrestled in the Japan show on the card. Like, there was no Neville. We did see Paige, but we didn't see who else. Jericho, of course not. We didn't see, we saw the New Day, but not till the end of the show. You know, a lot of the guys that wrestled on Japan's show
weren't there,
or they didn't wrestle at all. But I mean, I can't really complain because an 18-hour flight plus a match that Saturday, and you got to give these guys a break. It's, you know, one night at least. But I don't remember anything very memorable the first 2 hours of Raw that got me saying, "Oh, this was a fantastic show so far."
Yeah, I know. Other than the whole Rusev finally being able to wrestle again, besides that, within those 2 hours, was nothing really that interesting.
What about you, Justin?
Oh yeah. The first 2 hours were pretty. I wouldn't say terrible, but they weren't as good as it could have been. Other than, like Dave just said, the Rusev Ziggler segment and the Heyman segment. I mean, other than that, the matches weren't that very good the first couple of hours. So
No, I mean we got Ryback, Big Show.
that was just a bunch of pushing and shoving.
Right. Then we got. I mean, the Miz on the ring side kind of got annoying to me. I mean, I'm actually enjoying the Miz's character
But
more
then
than
up enough, you know, is kind of
right. It got. I think I'm.
It's more enjoyable a tough enough little talk show, whatever it's called, than his character on TV because it's like it's annoying. And not to hate on Roman Reigns, him and Sheamus had a pretty good match. It did end in count out, I believe, but it was still a decent match.
Right.
It wasn't bad.
no.
I agree, but my
It just
thing.
overshadowed the long Raw. Yeah.
My thing is this, and I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer or a guy that complains a lot about Raw or WWE, but I think it's time for some fresh new matches, man. I mean, we just saw Roman Reigns and Sheamus go at it, I think maybe a week or two ago.
And
then, I mean, I would not be surprised if we see them go again at each other on SmackDown. I mean, it's just
Orton returned too, so I mean, Orton. There's probably Orton Sheamus at Battleground, I assume now.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure you enjoyed the new Orton shirt they have out there now.
Oh, hell yes, I did. I'm buying.
I just want some new matches. And I mean, I'm sure, you know, once we get closer to the SummerSlam time of the year, that's when things kind of pick up a little bit.
Yep.
And
that's what worries me too. I hope it's not going to be like a bunch of rematches from Battleground. You know?
I think if anything, we may see maybe one or two. But I think we're going to see some fresh matches, hopefully. You know,
would y'all say Triple H wrestles maybe? SummerSlam?
I hope so. I mean, after tonight, you know, or tonight, last night with the look, you know, Triple H did that little hug or whatever they did. It just made me, I could see the thing where the Authority just walks out on Rollins and they just leave him being killed by Brock Lesnar. You know, and then it just happens something like that where they all just like, see you later. You know, everyone just walks away.
Can we? Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Justin.
Oh, no, yeah. No, I was just going to say, yeah, maybe they turn their backs on Rollins or do the thumbs down like they did with Batista. You know, something like that.
Could we possibly see a reuniting of the Shield and maybe they face the Authority at SummerSlam?
That would be interesting.
But
I still wouldn't mind, like you called, but you were saying, Tony, Rollins and Triple H at SummerSlam would be pretty awesome.
That would be a good match.
I mean, it would be a really good match, but in order for that to happen, we would have to see a title change.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally think it's gonna happen. Honestly, I think Brock is gonna win the title, and then they're not gonna give Rollins his rematch.
I think that's
what they'll do.
The perfect scenario to me would be them kind of maybe switching it up a little bit and say the Authority. I mean, not so much JJ and Security. I think JJ and Security have Rollins back.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. But maybe somehow, and I should probably say this for a preview video, but maybe somehow the Authority helps Rollins win, but then at the end of the night, they turn on him and Sheamus cashes in. Then you can have your so-called Authority versus Shield, and then you can maybe get Brock versus Sheamus at SummerSlam, which I don't think would be a bad bad match. I mean, that would be
It would be a stiff ass match.
talk about a Hoss match. I mean,
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar versus Sheamus would
Heavy
be
blows.
yeah, but we'll get down there when the pay per view is it's next weekend. So we'll do our preview show then, and then we'll touch more on it then. But let's move on because we were already talking too much. We'll move on. Like we said, the first 2 hours of Raw weren't the greatest. You didn't miss anything if you didn't miss the first 2 hours. I'll tell you that. But my thing is, let's touch on this third hour before we get to the Tough Enough review, where we had a tag team match between New Day and the Lucha Dragons with primetime players at ringside on commentary. And I thought Titus O'Neil pretty much called out JBL.
I was just gonna say that.
Pretty much, and I agree because if anybody did not watch the special this past Saturday morning, if they didn't wake up at 5 o'clock or 4:30 in the morning, I don't blame you. I mean, it's a Saturday. I don't blame you. Saxton and Cole were actually really, really good on commentary. They didn't go off on a tangent on something else. They stuck to the match. They talked about the match going on in the ring. They even brought up New Japan Pro Wrestling. They brought up other stuff other than just WWE stuff, which I thought was fantastic. To me, I think, and I don't mind JBL. You still there, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't mind JBL on commentary at all. I think he brings entertainment, comedy. I like how he goes after Saxon sometimes, but I think sometimes he goes off on. He just forgets about the match sometimes, and it could be Vince in his ear, it could be someone in his ear, but I think he tries to be funny too much, or tries to be too much of an entertainer more than
too hard.
So, go ahead and touch on the match. New Day did get the win. What did you think of the match and Titus O'Neil pretty much calling out JBL? We'll go with Dave first.
I mean, it got interesting because they were basically going back and forth at each other in commentary. Like, I thought they were going to start fighting or something at first because they kept really going back at each other. I mean, is JBL or Cole or any of them can really get off topic a lot. I've seen Cole do it a lot of times. It's just being more noticeable now, especially because everyone's praising Cole and Saxon for such a great job. But I think it's a different monster when you have Raw than doing a taped or tape delay special on the network where you're just sitting in Stanford, basically just watching a match and working off your sheets. So, I mean, it is, people might not like JBL, but I don't mind him personally. I don't think he's that bad, but I mean, I do have my own opinions. I just think it's different with Raw and then a tape delayed special where you're only talking a couple matches and they had to prepare for these in a few hours, I think. Like, more than that.
Okay. And the match itself?
Nothing special. I mean, the match was nothing special. I mean, the match was okay. I hate commentary, special commentary, so much because it takes away from the match.
Yeah, I mean, at one point you're probably more concentrated on the Titus O'Neil and JBL confrontation on commentary. Yeah, I get that. But my question is for you. Is because you messaged me saying you wish it was Woods and Kofi versus the Lucha Dragon.
Oh yeah, you don't want that. Yeah, because I think.
What do you have against Big E? Because I think Big E and his New Day character and his New Day gimmick is killing it. I think he's doing a really good job.
He definitely is with it. That's for sure.
Like him? Oh, sorry.
No, we'll get to Justin. Go ahead. I want to hear what you have.
I mean, I like Big E, but when I see them and I see Woods outside, I'm like, man, to me, just looking at the group, it would seem like, okay, Kofi and Woods in the ring, and then Big E, the big guy outside, either distracting somebody or hitting somebody as being like the big bodyguard. Not saying he's a wrestler too, I know, but just being the big guy outside just attacking people. To me, that just almost looks better than having Big E and Kofi. I think Woods and Kofi being the guys who wrestle more, and then Big E just being the big guy outside helping him. I have nothing against Big E. I think he's good. He's funny, but I just think it looked better with Kofi and Woods.
I think Big E brings another dynamic to the group, as in, like, For example, when the Lucha Dragons jumped outside the ring, he caught him like a rag doll and then flew him. I think that brings another element to the match. I like that. But I mean, I see your point, and I think Xavier Woods is a good wrestler, but I like him outside yelling things and
more of a mouthpiece.
Yeah, I like him. I like him doing that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't mind him in the ring, and if he, they usually do the old Freebird rule where either one of them defend the titles, and I don't mind that. But I enjoy hearing what Xavier Woods says at ringside. I think he's damn entertaining. And
I do too, but I enjoy him more in as a wrestler or what a superstar entertainer. But yeah, I just think he's a good wrestler too. And I'm not saying Big E isn't, but I would just think see them two more as I don't know what tag to really compare them to. Not so much a high flying, but more of like a Kendrick. I guess those are guys who are kind of high flying, but just like a speed tag team.
Okay, all right. Now, Justin, your thoughts on the match, the commentary, all that stuff.
Well, to touch on the commentary, it was somewhat all right, I guess, but most of the time it's absolutely atrocious. I mean, they're not even talking about the match half the time. They're going off on Twitter, Facebook, which, I mean, they're plugging their product, which I don't mind that. I don't care about that, but they go talking about jokes or what they did during the day, laughing on air, just totally taken away from the match. And that's also taken away from the performers in the ring doing what they're doing. So, I mean, the commentary absolutely sucks sometimes. I do put it on mute. Not all the time, but sometimes I do. But the match itself, like Dave said, it was nothing special. There was some okay spots, like whenever you said when they jumped out of the ring and landed on New Day. But other than that, I mean, the match is okay itself, I guess.
Okay, all right. After that, we had the whole Seth Rollins coming out with J&J Security. They gave Kane the night off. Apparently, he was on his little Hawaiian vacation, which was the worst Photoshop photos ever.
Yes.
I mean, it was funny, but it was horrible. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I thought they were going to show Kane throwing like an animal or something in the lava pit. I really didn't.
Really, I mean, they spent $56,000 on a car, but they couldn't maybe send Kane to a quick trip to Hawaii or something.
Yeah, and take actual pictures.
Yeah, that's just me nitpicking. But anyways, Rollins calls
the J&J stuff they did. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, J&J, they show J&J in their car, cruising around Chicago, stopping at Chicago Cub Stadium.
Talking shit about the Cub Stadium, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining. I actually really do enjoy J&J Security. I really do, and I hope they don't go away anytime soon. But Seth Rollins calls out Brock Lesnar. They all pretty much come out with axe handles, not with an axe, with axe handles. Pretty much calling out Brock, telling him, come to the ring, bring it. We're not afraid of you. Brock Lesnar, I mean, it was a setup for him to pretty much fuck up that car.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you knew from the start it was going to happen.
And at first I'm thinking, he's gonna launch the trunk at them, which I think Kofi did that to Randy Orton's car.
His race car, yeah.
Yeah, just threw shit at it, not really breaking anything. But I was wrong. I mean, this man pulled out an axe, and this man has some ungodly strength.
He flung the shit out of that car door, that's for sure.
Flung that car door like it was a goddamn pillow, and it even went into the crowd.
It hit a guy, yeah. The door hit the guy in the crowd.
That is fucking insane.
I think he meant to slide it low across the pavement, but it just ended up getting so much air under it and spinning.
The heat of the moment,
flew off.
Accidents will happen.
The original intent was to slide it across the pavement. Like a throwing it across the pavement, like low, but it ended up picking up steam and flipping, and you could see it fly into the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean,
it flew at least 30 or 40 feet easy. I mean,
right.
Threw the shit out of it.
With one hand. Yeah. I mean, this man, you couldn't pay me enough to go and fight this man in a UFC fight. I mean, seriously, I'd pee myself. But what did you guys think of the whole, I don't even know what you want to call it, altercation, I guess. We'll start with Justin first. What did you think of the altercation? And I'm guessing Brock will be on Raw next week.
Yeah.
Do you think he finally gets his hands on Rollins just for maybe a few seconds?
I think he does, because now you have Jamie Noble with a broken arm. So what's he gonna do? To help protect Rollins, and then maybe they're gonna have Mercury, hurt because he got thrown into the windshield with that suplex. So maybe James City Security will be off air next week because they're being hurt. And I think he does. He might get his hands on Rollins. Maybe Triple H interferes. Who knows what we'll see. But I think he does for a little bit, get his hands on Rollins, yes.
And what did you think about the whole altercation before the main event of Raw?
Oh, I liked it a lot. It did its job to progress the storyline, I guess you can say. I liked Rollins, retreating into the crowd. That's the hellish thing to do. They left Brock in the ring by himself, holding the belt up for the crowd to see. So I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Dave?
Perfect way to use Brock Lesnar is make him look like an unstoppable force where Rollins can't beat him. I mean, Jamie Noble has to come out next week with like punches or something.
Oh yeah, or at least a cast or a sling.
He's really good, and he didn't really get nothing done to him, but the broken arm storyline injury, and then the suplex. I mean, looked pretty. Like it hurt when you took that suplex on the card.
Kudos to Mercury for taking that
storyline. I think Brock is probably going to take the title, honestly. But the segment was good. I mean, I was surprised. We talked before. Tony did about I'm surprised this didn't main event Raw, but then we found out why. But it was just odd that Brock would end the show. I mean, but yeah, we know why he didn't. But next week, I hope Rollins and Brock don't touch each other. I'd rather wait till the pay-per-view because I'd rather see them finally get after each other on the pay-per-view right before the match starts. I hope there's some kind of clause where they can't touch each other or something.
All right, here's my question for you two guys, and I'm not going to count Brock Lesnar in this category because I know Dave is really adamant about how Brock Lesnar wasn't very much on Raw when he was a champion and really didn't wrestle very much on Raw or on pay-per-views. But has Rollins been the best champion since CM Punk?
Ooh.
As in being a heel? As in doing promos?
Oh, he's the absolute. I think he's the best heel right now in the business.
As in matches?
I don't know about that.
Well, not the business. I would say in WWE right now, probably the best heel.
No, I don't think he's the best heel in the WWE.
No?
No, I think, honestly, Kevin Owens is probably the best heel in the WWE right now.
Well, that's a good point, too. But
that's just my personal opinion on that. I think Kevin Owens is far the better heel.
Forget the biggest heel in the wrestling business or anything like that. Has Rollins lived up to expectations as a world champion? And has he been the best since CM Punk?
It's so hard to say. I mean, because he hasn't had that moment, though, Rollins, I don't think.
I would agree, yeah. I think
pipe bomb moment, where he got that big, everyone talked about that great moment before Money in the Bank, where he's walking out. No, he hasn't had that moment yet, I don't think. That big moment, besides turning on the Shield, that's been his biggest moment since he joined the Authority, really. He won Money in the Bank with Kane's help. He's done everything with help, So until he has, a big moment still, which is a great match, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think you can put him in Punk's level yet. And I don't like CM Punk. So, even though it's bad, I'm giving CM Punk credit.
Okay, I mean, fair point. I mean, I'm just saying that he's been the champion since... I just don't think
he's reached that part yet.
He's been the champion since WrestleMania. He's defended it, I think, every pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken. He's had some pretty incredible matches, TLC, not TLC, ladder match, stuff like that. I think right now, I mean, I wouldn't put him on CM Punk's level because that's a pretty high level right now.
I just don't think you're saying it's in the best sense, Punk. I mean, I think Brock was probably good for last year just because it worked. and you wanted to keep him, and they did.
Okay,
So
here's my question right now. Do you want Rollins to lose the title?
No, I don't, but I think he is. I don't want Rollins to lose, no, but I think he's going to. Because I don't think Brock Lesnar back just have him lose to Rollins.
Justin?
I don't think Rollins will lose. I'm hoping he does retain also, but I see some kind of interference happening. It's got to. But that's just me. I see him winning by interference or count out. Maybe Brock Lesnar gets pissed off. He pisses him off to where Brock gets disqualified, which would suck if that happened that way, but you never know.
Okay,
that
all
would
right.
make me mad too, because you're going to get another count out or DQ on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That would be really bad, I think.
All right, well, let's move on. Let's move on. I just wanted to hear y'all's opinion on that. But let's get
What's
to...
your opinion, Tony?
I like Rollins. I don't want him to lose the title. I think Rollins has done a really, really good job as champion. I think he's gotten that heat. He may not... I think it's a different heel heat between him and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens... it's
I
hard
think
to...
it just comes natural to Owens. I mean, he's just born
exactly.
to be.
I agree. Justin, that's a good point. I think being a heel to Kevin Owens is just natural. I mean, he has his smart ass comments. The stuff he says in the ring, it's just priceless. It's good stuff. But I think what Rollins has done as champion has been damn good. I mean,
yeah, I agree. I just think that, well, you compare the two, I think Rollins is a good heel, but the heel they have him being right now, kind of like what they did with Daniel Bryan, too, when he was the heel. They have him kind of a weak and wimpy heel. When Owens is just this dominant heel who says what everyone has been saying on Twitter for months. We're sick of seeing him coming out talking about the same old crap, exactly what everyone says on Twitter. Exactly the same thing he says everyone's thinking on the IWC.
Yeah.
Rollins is one of the, like I said with Daniel Bryan, the whole thing was they were the wink heel, just escaping with the title, barely escaping with it. And everyone wants Rollins to, not fans of his obviously, but everyone else wants Rollins to lose the title so bad. They don't care if it's Brock Lesnar.
And I think that's what makes him a good heel.
Mm-hmm.
That nobody likes him other than if you're like, other than like people like us who are fans of wrestling like him.
Older wrestling fans, I guess.
Yeah, but everybody hates Kevin Owens. I mean, no, I'm sorry. I say that wrong. Kevin Owens is loved by the IWC.
Yes.
I mean, you could say the same for Rollins, but I think
he still gets more heat. He gets better heat than Owens does. And then Punk as well, because if Punk came back right now as a heel, he would still get cheered. Rollins gets booed like these guys do. So that does separate Rollins from all these guys. Rollins still gets booed for his turning on the Shield.
Yeah, and he still gets the Justin Bieber chants. He still gets all that, and that's why I think.
Yeah, so I guess I didn't think about that so much before, but Owens still gets cheered. Punk would get cheered if he walked in tomorrow as a bad guy,
Oh, yeah.
No matter what. So I guess you could even say Rollins does win that debate as the heel because no one likes Rollins.
Right. Just because of what he's part of the Authority. He gets help winning. Stuff like that.
He barely beat
win
with the ladder match because he barely held on to the title. So it's like, and just imagine once he's at the top of his game right now, and if they did do a turn where he turns face because he gets screwed by the Authority, that would be huge for a SummerSlam match. Rollins is the good guy and Brock is the heel.
Right.
Or Rollins versus Triple H. Something like that. With the Authority is really weak though to me. Oh, you have Kane and J&J. That's all I see is the Authority or the corporation, whatever you want to call it. That's what I see, and it's like nothing to really be scared of.
No.
All right, well, let's move on to the main event, which we had the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge was the main event last night. Of course, he went on a spew, his normal stuff, and then said, you want some, come get some. First, of course, Kevin Owens comes out, which I actually thought this is what ran through my head immediately. Oh, we're going to have the match. Owens going to win. Owens is going to lose on the pay-per-view. That's what went through my head. right away.
I was just thinking, like, holy crap, we're going to get this match right now? I'm like, whoa.
Because,
and then, yeah.
You know how Chicago, they always get the good shit.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
And that seems like, I felt like that was going to happen. I felt like Owens was going to face Cena. Cena was going to lose to Owens.
With that crowd.
Yeah, and then Owens loses again at
Cena
Battleground.
wins the title, then loses at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, or something. You know, either way, something was going to happen, which did not happen. You know, Kevin Owens comes out, you know, like you said earlier, says, you know, we're tired of hearing you come out and say the same old stuff every night. You know, he just came out there. He wanted to kick his ass. He wants to face Cena for the title. Before Lillian Garcia can actually officially announce the match, Cesaro comes down and interrupts Kevin Owens. Pretty much says, you know, I had him beat last week. If anybody deserves to have a rematch with Cena, it's me. Kevin Owens kind of just bows down to Cesaro, which was kind of weird. I didn't think him to do that. Thought he would at least pull up a fight or something, but that's here nor there.
Wanted a triple threat.
Yeah, so Kevin Owens left.
I thought he was at least going to be on commentary.
Right.
But
so we had a epic 5-star. I'm going to give it 5 stars.
Oh, it was that damn good. It was.
I was complaining about this last week because I was like, man, I really wanted a clean finish, and a week later we get him in the main event.
And a 30 minute, I mean, maybe even longer. It was about 30 minutes. Main event.
Because it went to almost 20 after 11. It was on time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they definitely went overtime, and this match was awesome. I mean, this match is the best match I've seen, and I can't even remember right now off the top of my head. I would have to really think about it. But this match was very, very good. I mean, Cesaro showed off stuff that I've never seen. Some of the strength this man has, picking up John Cena. This guy's not 100 pounds. John Cena's like 250, 260.
And stocky.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was picking them up with ease. I mean, it looked like...
I know that suplex he had when John was, like, cradled on him.
Yes.
You know, I thought he was going to go for, like, the Page DDT or something for a minute, but he actually picked him up. And then the deadlift suplex on the outside that we see Michael Elgin do all the time, but these are a lot smaller guys. Elgin's doing it, too. And Cena's a big dude. So you're able to pick him up, you know you're strong.
Yeah, I mean, at one point it did look like Cesaro was getting kind of like heat exhaustion because he flipped them over to where the ring bearer, ring bell man is at, and I saw him grab water, pour it on his face. And I remember when Justin and I went to the Raw, Tyson Kidd got hurt. The first thing Cesaro did was grab water bottle and put it on the back of Tyson's Kidd's neck.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing that I was like, oh man, maybe Cesaro's feeling something or something like that.
There was like a big cable like cord end like right there by his head when he flipped it. He showed it, and I didn't know if he actually hit that or what, because he is a little cut up a little bit after that fall.
So, but other than
that, that's for sure.
Before I get y'all's two's opinions, I think this match was probably the best match I've seen in months. Definitely a 5-star match. I got to give credit to John Cena because this man, since WrestleMania, has been on a fucking tear with these matches that he's had.
Before WrestleMania.
I mean, since the U.S. title, since he's won the title and he's done these invitationals, this guy has, I don't care if he's winning them. He's putting over talent because he's not squashing these guys. You know, for example, Sami Zayn comes down injured, still has like a 15, 20-minute match with Cena and almost wins.
Injured during the match.
And still almost wins. I mean, you know, Cesaro, who else? I mean, we can go on. Kevin Owens. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on about this, how John Cena. Yes, John Cena sucks. We get it. Nobody likes John Cena. Fair enough. That's fine. But he's been putting on some tremendous matches. Tremendous matches. But we'll start with Justin first. What did you think of the main event last night? And not only I'll get to what I was bitching and moaning about to Dave earlier. What did you think of the match? And then we'll go to Dave.
Oh, absolutely 5 stars, like you said. You know, they both had their offensive moments. They both got their moves in during the match. Cesaro with the uppercut, of course. He threw him up in the air, uppercut him, you know. Cena with that, Cena with the fallaway slam where he hit his head, looked like on the outside. That was good. Cena with the Hurricanrana. That was out of nowhere. You know, they both put on a damn good match, like you said. I would say best match of the last couple months, definitely, of Raw at least. I hope they go again soon. And I don't know, it was badass. I enjoyed it. It was really good. Now, the only thing I was going to say too is people were talking shit about it on Twitter. I was reading about that. They were saying how the match sucked and all this kind of stuff, which I don't know why they would say that because it was very good.
Because Cesaro lost and Cena won. Because everyone hates Cena, so if Cena wins anything, it's like, oh, they're burying people. That's how people are.
Yeah.
And like Dave periscoped, before I get to your thoughts, Dave, like you periscoped earlier, and I thought you made a great point. Wow, you said with the Divas getting a chance, and you know on the special they actually got a chance. They got like a 15-minute match, and you're right.
Well, even the Tokyo show, I mean, that was probably one of the best matches they put on.
Yeah, and people.
And it's not about Divas or Cena. It's more about. I hope Justin was gone. I was trying to cut him off, but it was all about your favorite. That's what it's about. People bitching on Twitter because, oh, the Bella Twins, or Nikki Bella's the champion, but we want Paige to be the champion. You need more time. You don't need. Once you want more, the Divas to get more time in the ring, because that Tokyo match, I mean, it was a good Divas match.
Tamina did a good job. I did see that one.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good match, but there's nothing I can't go through in the Cena match and Cesaro match. I can't go through every single thing in this match because the whole match, like, I'm not like prepared to like you are, Justin. I'm just going off my head right now where it's like the match was awesome. I could put this match up against Cena and Owens because this match was that good, in my opinion. This match picked the match of the year as of right now. If we stopped right on the match, I'd probably pick Cesaro and Cena because the match was that good. They had an awesome match last week, better one this week, and the payoff was even better.
Right. And
even though people on Twitter hated it because Cena won again. Cena wasn't going to lose to Cesaro. Even I said this last week. Even if Cena wins, I wanted to see a clean finish, not a DQ.
Yeah.
Clean finish, great match. Probably once in a while we get these. Very often, I should say, we get a classic match on Raw. When you get those classic matches, like, wow, this was Cena and Shawn Michaels years ago was a classic match we got on Raw for like an hour. And it was like, wow, you know, you don't get these matches very often. When they do, people want to complain about it. And the cool thing I thought about the Chicago crowd, I don't like how they get all this great stuff in their towns and no one else does. But the coolest thing about this whole thing after the match, I didn't hear what Cena said to the crowd about Star, but the crowd actually stood up and gave him a standing ovation right after the match. And they cheered Cena. And Cena's doing this, I think. It's like, he's trying to say, I'm trying to earn everyone's respect. I'm trying to put in work and do all these extra moves that I've never seen him do before. None of us have. It's like, wow. I mean, Tony, you sent me a message when I was working. Like, wow, I've never seen Cena do that before. It's like crazy. And that was my whole thing about that. Is like the match is awesome. Cena I've been on Cena the last couple weeks. I just don't think he's the greatest. But I mean, what he's been doing, no one's been doing what Cena's doing the last few months. I mean, no one's put on matches like John Cena.
Yeah.
He's doing the show every night. He's the new Dolph Ziggler.
yeah, and my thing is, like, a certain news outlet was bitching about the finishers, how they don't. I get it. It's not the modern day when we grew up anymore, where a finisher is a finisher.
And that was it.
You know, when Shawn Michaels hit a super kick, it was over. When the sharpshooter was on, it was over. You know, stuff like that. It's not like that anymore. To where, yes, it gets old after a while. Yes, you would love to see a finisher actually end the match. But to me, I mean, it made Cesaro look even that much better that it had to take him doing this finisher off the top of the rope.
Yeah, make him look strong.
Yeah, it made Cesaro.
Like a super move. Yeah, it takes a super move to beat this guy. And I think it makes the matches better when you have a guy when Undertaker. I said this earlier in my article. When Undertaker and Shawn Michaels had their match, and Shawn Michaels kicked out a tombstone, I was like one of those guys sitting there like, what the just happened?
Yep.
He kicked out. I mean, it was like one of those like you're not supposed to do that, and it was like wow. And that's what's so cool, seeing guys today have to kick out a two finish. Back in the day, no one complained about it. Rock and Austin did this, but now all of a sudden it's Cena, so they're complaining about it. How many stunners did it take to beat The Rock? What, 3 at one WrestleMania, 3 or 4?
Right. I mean, it's just,
they kicked out of finishers.
You know, people are gonna bitch and moan about everything, and it just. I mean, I had to unfollow the person because it was asinine. I mean, he's calling out a one negative thing about the match and discrediting the whole match itself, and that just pissed me off. It rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, if you don't like them butt kicking out of finishers, hello, it's been happening since WrestleMania 25 when Undertaker faced HBK.
Yep.
I mean, get over it already. I mean, seriously.
It works though today. The style, the Ring of Honor style is not trying to blame it on Ring of Honor, but it's the style of these guys come in who are used to wrestling like that. If you watch any Ring of Honor, these guys are taking move after move after move after move and kicking out of everything.
But
and then a big finish.
Yeah, we already went on a little bit too long, but we'll finish it up. So Cena wins. Kevin Owens comes out, tries to attack John Cena. He ends up taking the FU, and I mean, I'm sure Kevin Owens will get his hands on John Cena. It's just been a bad week for Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
It was the NXT title, and then doesn't get to do anything on Raw. But all in all, I thought Raw itself will go around. Raw itself, other than the first 2 hours, I thought Raw was pretty good. I mean, it ended very, very strong in my opinion. Dave?
Match of the year?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And I will say, I hope that Cesaro at least wins the title.
Better than Owens and Cena.
It was better than both matches, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was awesome. Just to mention to this weekend, I mean, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens tore the house out. It was awesome. So that match with Cena and Cesaro complimented that. Because it was like, man, and those guys are just awesome. And Owens is great. People might hate Owens, but he's great in the ring.
Right. And before we jump to Justin about what he thought about Raw, Jericho and Neville, that match was really good too. Probably one of the. It was very close to being the best match of the night or the morning, if you want to say, in my opinion. But I already know.
Awesome,
I know Dave thought Raw kind of was blah until the last hour of Raw. Go ahead, Justin. What did you think?
Yeah, first 2 hours were not so good. Final hour was tremendous. I will say I do really hope Cesaro gets a belt soon. Either, hopefully he starts off with the Intercontinental because he deserves to have a belt right now, the way he's been doing.
He definitely deserves a push. I agree with you.
Absolutely.
I don't think the IC. I think he should just think of a Brock Lesnar and Cesaro match.
Well, see, yeah, I want him to win the world title.
Awesome.
Yeah. But we got our Raw out of the way. Let's jump into Tough Enough tonight, where we saw a new person get eliminated tonight. I thought the episode was okay. It was definitely, I thought, a little bit better than the last two ones before then. We kind of had an altercation between Tanner and Patrick. Other than that, they had a competition on. They picked a gimmick. I should say, out of a hat, and then they had to come down like a ring entrance and so forth, so forth and so forth. Whatever. Anyways, I thought Sarah Lee didn't do very well. I thought Daria was awful. I thought ZZ was just kind of pathetic.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I think the two that were the best were Patrick, who won the challenge, and what's the guy's name? That's
the British one. The British one.
No, the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh dude. Mata.
Oh, ZZ?
Yes, the Pharaoh. That was damn good.
Yeah. Oh, Pharaoh. I think he said the barrel.
Yeah. Mata. I thought those two guys did very good in their ring entrances. The other ones, nah, not so much. I mean, yeah, the British Brawl or whatever, he did okay, and the accent.
Just the accent on that one though. The rest of it was,
I mean, other than that, I mean, Sarah, not the dog Sarah Lee, because I know she's a fan favorite, but she looks so damn uncomfortable up there.
Yeah,
like,
she's supposed to be playing a heel, like a heel. It's like she's a face.
Yeah, she just looks uncomfortable. I mean, I'm sure more time goes on, she'll move on from that, but right now she looks to me very uncomfortable. But I'll get y'all's thoughts on tonight's Tough Enough, and then we'll go to the final three and who got eliminated. Justin, go first.
Yeah, it was definitely better than last week. I do, however, wish they would do more than one deal. Like, I mean, they just did the gimmicks and then it got voted off. I wish they would show them, doing more wrestling type stuff, then maybe the gimmick, and then do another one, and then go off of that, not just go off of one single deal and then get eliminated from that. But yeah, the gimmicks they were okay, I guess. Patrick's I think was the best, and Mata's like you said. Of course there's gonna be drama in there, and then Diana left.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I mean, she didn't want to be there. You could tell she kept talking about her fiance and was crying. She wanted to
Which I think is a pathetic shame, because you had all these people sending all their videotapes. And
yes.
Fought so hard, and when they actually got picked to go to the training or whatever have you, and then she gets picked. She actually, I think, won a challenge last week.
Yeah, the one in the swimming. Yeah.
And then she quits the next day or that night or whatever. I mean, seriously, like, the bitch slapped. Like, if I was one of the contestants, I would have slapped her. Like, how do you?
She snuck out.
Right.
Besides one who sneaks out.
Right.
That was bullshit too. I mean, what the hell? Just sneak out in the middle of the night and leave.
And I agree, Justin, what you're saying. They should have more than just one competition. I know, and it's an hour show. I mean, seriously, it's an hour show.
They could bring someone else back.
I mean, they could. I think after elimination tonight, I think they had two eliminated. I don't think they will, but I mean, they could. But to me, I think they could do some more challenges or show more of them interacting together in the house.
Everyone there and who's a part of the show, you got to have them on TV. You got to have Daniel Bryan, Hulk Hogan, Paige, Jericho, Renee Young. You got to give them TV time. It's kind of like almost too many people are involved in this season.
Right.
But it's not so much focused on the coaches' training. You can only get one session. I enjoyed last week's Tough Enough training better than this week.
Right, because they actually did shit in the ring.
Did something, yeah. I mean, it wasn't. I don't mean to interrupt you guys. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I heard her walking out. I wasn't sure if she was going to come back or not, but it was like one of those things. Like, okay, I guess no, that's it. They were all talking like she left, and whether they add someone else to it, I mean, we'll see. I guess the reason Tanner and Patrick didn't really fight because they can't throw punches. They mentioned that later on, I think. But we're not allowed to throw punches here. We get kicked out. So that was their whole thing. I don't really understand their whole thing with each other. But it's like Patrick doesn't need to. He needs to keep his head where he wants to be, not worry about trying to get into it with Tanner. Like, I can beat you up, or I can beat you up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, don't get in those stupid little head games with people. You're going to get yourself either kicked off the show or end up doing something stupid.
Right. So, the final three ended up being Daria, Sarah Lee, and ZZ again for the second week in a row. And I mean, when they picked the final three, I was like, Daria's going to go home.
Oh, definitely.
ZZ's a fan favorite. Sarah Lee's probably the most popular one on Tough Enough. I think she has the most followers.
Which I don't understand that at all. I figured Gabby would be Gabby, because she did great today too in that competition. But yeah, I mean, as the women, but yeah, it was kind of odd that Sarah Lee to me is the favorite. I don't really understand that at all.
Because she has like an AJ Lee type.
That's what me and Dave were saying earlier.
Yeah, but it's like, I guess that's her whole situation. I guess people like her for that. I don't know. But I mean, I don't get why everyone loves her, because she doesn't stand out to me at all.
No, I
don't like her because she's from Michigan, and I want you to succeed just because she's from Michigan. But I'm not going to pick someone to win it just because they're from my same state. It's like, yeah, I want to see her do good, but if she's not the best woman or best person, I'm not going to judge it like most people are. I'm not going to judge it like, well, we all get a vote, so that's kind of nice. But I want to see the best person win. I want to see someone win who shouldn't be there.
Okay, yeah. And like we said, ZZ, Daria, and Sarah Lee were the final three. Daria ends up going home. She pretty much calls out Gabby at the end of the night and calls out Sarah Lee as well, saying that they're the worst of the two ladies that should have been probably eliminated before her. Okay, who is your favorite to win right now out of the men? And this is based off of fan voting as well, so you gotta think about that as well.
Okay, but who you asking?
I'm asking both of you.
Go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead, Dave.
Okay. The guys, I mean, Tanner is standing out. He's winning a lot of some of the competition, but Patrick stands out as just a wrestling fan, and that's what a lot of people really into. Hey, he's a guy who can just chill and watch the network with and just hang out. But Tanner's, I mean, even Josh, right now, a lot of people, it's coming down to Tanner and Patrick right now.
Yeah.
And if it is just a straight fan vote to who wins, it's tough to say who's people they're going to pick. But right now, Patrick is in the lead right now. He's winning everything, the in-ring competition. He also has the experience as well. Hopefully the Luke thing will come back to bite him. But Patrick seems like the top guy right now, right with Patrick, or with Tanner. Tanner's right there, too.
Justin?
Oh, yeah, I agree. It's definitely between Tanner and Patrick right now, absolutely. But, I mean, Josh could sneak up behind them both, and so, I mean, you never know. But I definitely think it's between Josh and Patrick. I guess we'll have to see what goes out down at the end.
I think right now it's Patrick because he's the type of guy that we want in wrestling, that has the passion, and that's a fan. And he's not there to win the money and then to jet out. He's there because he loves wrestling. And that's what I respect about Patrick. I don't think he's there to – yeah, I mean, Josh hasn't shown me anything to where he's going to be a guy that would win it and then leave or whatever.
He just has a look, though, too. You know? Like the look that Vince loves, the big guy look. That's why I think a Roman Reigns look. Right. That's why I think he would be popular with a Vince McMahon or something like that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind that. But I just think right now Patrick shows the more passion to me, and that's why I hope he wins. Yeah. But if you got to go with a fan vote, I would not be surprised if ZZ somehow wins.
And it sucks because it's hard for us as fans to see what they can do with one deal per show. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying I wish they would show more than one deal of them doing something.
Right. I agree. I agree with you on that. But
do you think the user saves the judges in time or anybody? Because I thought Hogan liked kind of things easy tonight.
I definitely did.
I mean, it's up in the air with that. I mean, do they save anyone? And if it comes down to like a Patrick or a Tanner in the bottom three with the top guys in this competition right now, I mean, if they get in, maybe one of them gets saved. It's a good question right there.
It should be interesting. It'll get. I mean, I know a lot of people are not the greatest fans of Tough Enough right now. I mean, it's a lot different than what we're used to.
Mm-hmm. But, I still prefer the Austin one because it seemed more about the competition.
Right.
You know, it seemed more about in the ring, actually doing stuff and working out. But I mean, other than Billy Gunn coming in and making them do squats and saying, "Get a left," I mean, that's about all they did.
Right. So
yeah,
that's it in a nutshell. Tough Enough was okay tonight. Daria goes home. We'll find out what happens next week on the next episode of Tough Enough. And then also next week's Raw is the go-home show for the pay-per-view. So next Tuesday we will be here again with another Raw. And
do we do a preview to Battleground too?
If we did that, we'll probably have like a 2-hour
show.
So I think we should probably do it another day.
Yeah.
I'm sure Justin would like to be involved in that as well.
Oh, I'm down. Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll pick a day maybe where he's free. Maybe the weekend or Thursday or Friday or something like that. Just do a quick.
Maybe we can do like picks or something like that, make it something kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Do that. I'll write down the matches and stuff like that. We definitely have to do it after Tuesday because you know how SmackDown is. You never know if another match will get added or something like that. So, we're going to end it here. We'll be back next Tuesday. We'll announce when we'll do the preview show on the next Tuesday show. And then we'll be back next Sunday evening with a WWE Battleground review. So it should be a 3-man booth then as well. We'd like to thank Justin for joining us now.
No problem.
It brings more of a dynamic to the group. 3 different opinions is always good. So from there on, any last thoughts from we'll start with Justin before we end the show.
Only thing I'll say about Tough Enough is I wish they would show more of Booker, Lita, and Billy Gunn, talking amongst themselves about the contestants, what they thought about them. That's the only thing I would see added to Tough Enough. But other than that, no.
Anything else you want to add before we end it?
Yeah, I mean, other than the whole thing, like Justin said, I mean, it would be nice if they were living in a house like they were before instead of this, but we could probably create more drama that way. But, because that's what it is. It's a reality show. They want drama. They want infighting. And it's interesting that they're all bulking together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to pretty much end it there. We'll be back next Tuesday, same time, 8:15 Eastern, 9:15. 8:15 Central. And then we'll be back. We'll announce when we're going to do the preview show on the next week's show, and then we'll be back Sunday night for Battleground pay-per-view review. So we appreciate everybody who joined. We had like 2 or 3 viewers tonight. Thanks for sharing this video with us. We'll be back next week. Have a great night, everybody.
You too. Have a good night.